Welcome to the Continuous Commissioning Suite of Tools training videos. In this video, we'll be looking at the Implementer tool, and we'll be looking at visualization in the Implementer tool using the label visualizer. We will go through the accordion and all its features. We will show you how to export information from the label visualizer and transfer information to other tools from the label visualizer. To get to the label visualizer, once you're in the Implementer project, click on the Implementer button and you can get to it in two different ways. You can go to the Visualize menu and Label Visualizer is at the very bottom, or you can get it in Visualize on the page itself with this button here. The Label Visualizer is a visualization tool that lets you look at how the trends in labels are spread across. So basically, the label visualizer is able to give you histograms and box plots that show where most of the trends lie. And so it's a very useful tool to look at data in that form. So in this case, you have the scope on the left. So we can choose, in this case, let's choose the AHU. In AHU1 in building NG, and the label for analysis we'll choose is the terminal boxes under AHU1. There are almost 50 terminal boxes, so if you look at it here, you'll see there's a group of terminal boxes and there are about 50 of these. So what we're going to study is a space temperature label, so we can type that out. Here's your space temperature label for terminal box. And since this is an older project, demonstration project, we'll go back in time a little bit. And so you can choose, whatever date range you want. And then in the ignore features, we won't ignore anything in this particular case. The extended options, we'll go with the default 15 minutes. And we'll click on generate plots. And so what this does is it actually looks at all the terminal boxes under that AHU1. There are about 50 of those, and you can see that here. And it gives you statistics on the data that you have. It lets you know what the minimum was, the mean, median, and you can arrange these by that parameter. So if you wanted to arrange by maximum, there's your, the maximum was 86, 95th percentile, or the median, in this case, let's try the median. So the median temperature on 129 was the greatest. Now, to look at the plots itself, you can click on jump to plots right there, and you can see 29's right here, and here's your histogram and box plot that shows you the distribution of at how many points in this trend were in this bin, and so on. And here's your box plot. Now, you can have two options with the box plot. You can choose a percentage or a count. So if it's a percentage, then each of these is, the total of all these values would be equal to 100%. But if you wanted to use count, it just gives you the total number of points that you have in the time period that you chose. So it depends on what you're looking for. Sometimes it makes sense to use percentage. Sometimes it makes sense to use count. You can download this as an Excel sheet. So if you click right there, it'll download that. But if you want to also, look at a particular plot, you can transfer this information to a time series plotter. So you can click on time series plotter and it will show you that information in a time series plot. So that's kind of what the label visualizer can do. It can look at all the trends that have a label under the scope that you've defined, and it tells you how they are varied in their numbers. It shows you how much are in a certain bin, those kind of comparisons. And the beauty is that you can do a comparison based on count or a comparison based on percentage. And that's very useful when you want to see the spread of how the space temperature or a chilled water valve has been doing during certain periods of time when it's hot or when it's cold. And you can compare across different such parameters. That's what I wanted to cover on the label visualizer. Thank you.